One of the times I remember somebody being radically candid with me was back probably in my mid-20s. I had started with a firm in the DC area. I'd been there a couple years. Sat down with a partner, about midway through the year, and he basically told me, you're not quite meeting expectations, and you're falling behind your peers a bit. That was hard to take. Even when I heard that, I did shut down for a bit. You're angry, you're frustrated, you're a little bit sad. You're obviously surprised. I kind of stepped back after, I had my boo-hoo period, and really said, what do I need to do different? Both thinking for myself, but also talking to immediate supervisors and that partner. I'm very glad that partner sat me down and explained that to me, because I think my perception was much different than his. So looking back, I'm very appreciative of that. And it's something going forward when I'm talking with our folks at Brown Edwards, I want to be honest with them. I want to be honest with them on their careers and what they need to do different, and what I think will help them make them successful.
The time that I remember someone being radically candid with me was about 20 years ago. A person that I worked for invited me to go to lunch with them one day, and I thought this was going to be an occasion to thank me and recognize me for what my team and I were contributing. What it really was a chance for this person to be radically candid with me. And to be honest, it was one of the first times in my career that someone had really been totally honest with me. The message was that I was a great manager of people, but that I wasn't a great leader of people. And that hurt. It wasn't what my perception of myself was at that time. This person had many suggestions on how I could go about improving that, but one, she challenged me to go out and learn the difference between management and leadership myself. Today, we teach leadership in our mentoring sessions. We use our talent management system to identify people that want to be future leaders. And one of our sayings is that everybody is on the team is a leader, because whether you lead a group of people or not, you always lead yourself.
One of the most radically candid moments I can remember is a time when my supervisor gave me feedback early in my career in higher education. And that feedback was, I wear my emotions on my face. And initially, I didn't think that was a problem, to be quite honest. I was kind of taken aback by the comment. I did value and appreciate that feedback. Going forward, I was more mindful of my emotions and how I expressed them. Another great part about this moment was that it opened the opportunity for me to have a conversation with my supervisor regarding how people from cultural backgrounds present themselves in the workplace and what assumptions we have about those. Even if I express an emotion on my face, is that a bad thing? I just tend to naturally be an expressive person, and so I wanted to make sure that my workplace was open to that and valued me in that way.
The moment that comes to my mind when someone was radically candid with me wasn't necessarily a face-to-face interaction. It was more so when you start getting those letters when you're in high school, you're getting ready to try to find out what's that next step. Where are you going to go? And you're not quite getting into the places that you hoped for, you wished for, you've strived for. And that starts to become very real. And when you finally get that one letter of acceptance, everybody, and even in yourself, you just have this overwhelming feeling of, okay, I made it. I'm able to go on to that next stage in life. And that happened to be Radford University for me. It was a wonderful experience. It was an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything else, because at the end of the day, I always remember what one professor told me. He said, he taught at another university close by. He said, I'm using the same textbooks in this classroom that I'm using at that other university. Never feel as though where you're going to school is any lower than any place else. And I took that to heart. I truly mean it, and I think Radford's a great university where I was able to enhance exactly who I am and grow into who I was going to be.
A number of years ago, a very close friend and mentor told me, he said, Mike, He said, 3 generations from now, it will not matter how many airplanes you owned. What will matter is how you loved your bride and how you loved your boys. And that conversation rocked me to my core. And I have since then, on a daily basis, searched for how I can think differently with regards to how I love my bride and love my boys.
I remember one of the first times I got to experience a radically candid conversation with senior management here at Bank of the James. I was trying to decide on a certain type of product, and I was trying to get input from all sorts of different resources and individuals just so that I could get collaboration around the idea. When one of the individuals kind of pulled me aside and said, "You know, Thomas, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but really that's what we pay you to do. We want you to make this decision. This is your market. You tell us what we need to do, and we'll tell you if we can do it or not." And at first, I was sort of taken aback because, felt a little bit lost. Okay, what am I supposed to do? What am I not supposed to do? But what I quickly realized was the freedom that came with that statement. Here was somebody in management that was entrusting me, was entrusting our market, and was allowing us to make a local decision and giving me the wherewithal to do it. For me, it was an empowering opportunity. It wasn't anything that I took any offense to, and I think it could have been handled a lot of different ways, but because it was radically candid, it was quick, it was effective, and it got us where we needed to be. It was a great experience, and it's one that I hope to be able to pass on to other colleagues as I move up and around through the ranks.
Kim Scott is the author of the New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestseller Radical Candor, Be a Kick-Ass Boss Without Losing Your Humanity, and the co-founder of Radical Candor, LLC. Kim led AdSense, YouTube, and DoubleClick online sales and operations at Google, and then joined Apple to develop and teach a leadership seminar. Kim has been a CEO coach at Dropbox, Qualtex, Twitter, and several other tech companies. Previously, Kim was the co-founder and CEO of Juice Software, a collaboration startup, and led business development at Delta 3 and Capital Thinking. Earlier in her career, she worked as a senior policy advisor and the FCC, managed a pediatric clinic in Kosovo, started a diamond cutting factory in Moscow, and was an analyst on the Soviet Companies Fund. Kim received her MBA from Harvard Business School and her BA from Princeton University. She's the author of 3 novels. She and her husband Andy Scott are the parents of twins and live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Please welcome to the Valley Business Keynote stage, Kim Scott.